Mom's Christmas Eve dinner was a family tradition. 40 relatives packed into my parents' house. Aunts, uncles, cousins, and the obligatory business associates who'd become honorary family. The dining room table groaned under the weight of traditional dishes while everyone wore their holiday best. I stood near the kitchen in my work polo and cargo pants, holding eggnog while my family entertained guests in their designer Christmas sweaters. Paya. Mom's voice carried that apologetic tone across the room. Come say hello to the Andersons. They're asking about you. I navigated through clusters of celebrating relatives, very aware of the logistics company logo on my shirt. Mrs. Anderson, Mr. Anderson. Merry Christmas. Your mother mentioned you work in delivery services? Mrs. Anderson's smile was polite, her diamond earrings catching the tree lights. Yes, logistics and fulfillment. Still driving that delivery van? My brother Carlos appeared with his wife Vanessa, both dressed like they'd stepped out of a retail catalog. Appropriate since Carlos owned one. At 35, he'd built Martinez Retail into a regional chain of 18 home goods stores with $97 million in annual revenue. Maya's been delivering packages for what, 7 years now? 8 years, I corrected quietly. 8 years of loading boxes into a van and driving routes. Carlos shook his head for the Andersons' benefit. We keep telling her she could do more. I offered her a position managing one of my store locations. $60,000 a year, benefits, normal hours. She turned it down. I prefer my current work. Delivering packages? Vanessa's tone suggested I'd chosen garbage collection. Maya, honey, that's not a career. That's a job anyone can do. You don't even need a high school diploma. Polite laughter from nearby relatives. The problem with delivery work, Carlos continued, addressing his growing audience, is there's no advancement. No future. You're just moving boxes from point A to point B. Meanwhile, I'm running a business empire. 18 stores, 400 employees, contracts with major suppliers. That's wonderful, I said. It is wonderful. This Christmas season alone, we'll move over $2 million in merchandise. Black Friday was our biggest day ever. 800,000 in sales. That's what real business looks like. My phone buzzed in my pocket. I ignored it. You know what kills me? My cousin Roberto joined our circle. Maya has a business degree from state. 4 years of college and she's doing work that doesn't require any education. What a waste. She could work for me, Carlos repeated. Store manager position, real responsibility, actual career progression. But no, she prefers wearing that polo shirt and delivering Amazon packages. I don't deliver for Amazon. UPS, FedEx, whoever. Same thing. You're a delivery driver. He pulled out his phone showing photos of his flagship store. This is what I built. 30,000 square feet of premium retail space. My newest location opens in March. It's going to be our biggest yet. My phone buzzed again. Then again. That's probably dispatch calling about her route, Vanessa said. Delivery drivers work holidays. Christmas Eve, Maya's probably got packages to deliver tomorrow morning. More sympathetic looks from the relatives. Actually, I took the holiday off, I said. Well, that's good. You should be here with family. Mom patted my arm. Even if you can't afford the nice Christmas outfits everyone else is wearing. The group chuckled. Affectionate, pitying chuckles. I pulled out my phone. 11 missed calls from the same number. Martinez Retail's operations director. Then Carlos's phone rang. He glanced at the screen and frowned. It's Thomas, my operations director. He knows it's Christmas Eve. He answered, stepping toward the window. Thomas, this better be critical, what? His expression changed. What do you mean shipping delays? We confirmed all the holiday schedules. Everything was supposed to be. He stopped mid-sentence, listening. That's impossible. We use the best logistics company in the region. They've never had delays. Never. His voice rose slightly. Well, call them. Find out where the holdup is. We have 47,000 packages that need to be in customer hands before New Year's. I opened my logistics management app. The screen showed exactly what I expected. Martinez Retail. Account status. Active, critical alert. Pending shipments. 47,283 packages. Processing status. Paused, awaiting authorization. Issue. System capacity review required. Holiday delivery window, 72 hours remaining. I watched Carlos's face go from confused to panicked. No, I understand we need those packages delivered. Obviously, I understand that. He was pacing now. But how can they just pause our shipments? We have a contract. We've been using them for 3 years. Pause. What do you mean they're reviewing capacity? They knew our holiday volume. We submitted projections back in August. I took a sip of eggnog. Find out who we need to talk to at Rapid Flow Logistics. The owner, the CEO, whoever makes these decisions. Thomas, our entire Christmas profit margin depends on those packages reaching customers. If we miss the delivery window, we're looking at massive returns and refunds. My phone rang. Thomas, the operations director. I answered. Hello, Thomas. Carlos spun around, staring at me. Yes, I'm aware of the capacity review, I said calmly. Martinez Retail's holiday volume exceeded projected totals by 34%. Our system flagged it for manual approval. Why? Carlos's phone nearly slipped from his hand. How do you know, Thomas? Why is my operations director calling you? I held up one finger, continuing my conversation. The original contract specified 40,000 packages for the holiday season. Current pending volume is 47,000. That's a significant variance that requires infrastructure review before processing. Paya. Carlos crossed the room in 3 strides. What is happening? I lowered the phone. Thomas is calling about the shipping delay. Martinez Retail exceeded contracted volume, so the system paused processing pending approval. The living room went completely silent. 40 relatives frozen mid-conversation. Carlos grabbed my arm. How do you know about our shipping contracts? How do you know my operations director? Because Rapid Flow Logistics is my company. Martinez Retail has been using my fulfillment services for 3 years. Mom's eggnog glass slipped from her hand, splashing on the hardwood floor. Your company? Carlos's voice came out strangled. You drive a delivery van. You wear a polo shirt with a company logo. My company's logo. I wear it when I'm inspecting warehouse operations and training new staff. I'm the founder and CEO. Dad stepped forward from the dining room. Rapid Flow Logistics? That's Carlos's shipping provider. They handle all his e-commerce fulfillment. All of it, I confirmed. Every online order, every package shipped from Martinez Retail's warehouses to customer doorsteps. We process, pack, and deliver everything. Vanessa sat down heavily on the couch. Carlos snatched my phone, staring at the logistics dashboard. This shows Martinez Retail. And 15 other companies. You're handling shipping for 15 businesses. 32 currently. Martinez Retail represents about 14% of our total volume. Roberto pulled out his phone. Rapid Flow Logistics. I'm searching for. Oh my God. Your company has warehouses in 4 cities. You handle e-commerce fulfillment for retailers throughout the Southwest. Yes. But you said you deliver packages, Vanessa protested. I do. When I'm training new drivers or testing routes. I also design logistics systems, negotiate carrier contracts, manage warehouse operations, and oversee a network that processes 3 million packages annually. 3 million packages? Dad's bourbon glass trembled. Last year. This year we're tracking toward 4.2 million. Thomas called Carlos back. He answered on speaker, his hand shaking. Carlos, I need to know what's happening with Rapid Flow. Our entire holiday season is sitting in their warehouses. If those packages don't move by December 27th, we're looking at 200,000 in lost revenue and another 150 in refund costs. Thomas. Carlos's voice barely registered. Who owns Rapid Flow Logistics? Silence on the other end. Thomas, who owns the company that handles all our shipping? Maya Martinez founded it 8 years ago. She's been our logistics partner since you launched e-commerce. Carlos, you've met with her quarterly to review fulfillment metrics. I've never met with Maya. Carlos looked at me wildly. I've met with account managers, warehouse supervisors. Who work for me, I finished. I don't typically attend routine client meetings. I have staff for that. I focus on strategic planning and infrastructure development. Strategic planning, Carlos repeated hollowly. You're wearing a delivery polo at Christmas dinner. Because I spent this morning at our main warehouse facility reviewing holiday processing capacity. The Polo is required for warehouse floor access. OSHA regulations. Mrs. Anderson was reading something on her phone. Rapid Flow Logistics was featured in Supply Chain Management Weekly. They interviewed the founder about revolutionizing regional e-commerce fulfillment. 2 years ago, yes. We never saw that article, Mom whispered. Because you assumed any article about Maya Martinez in logistics was someone else. You never looked close enough to see my photo or understand what I was building. Carlos was scrolling frantically through his phone. Our shipping invoices. They're all from Rapid Flow. We've paid you. How much have we paid you? I pulled up another screen. Martinez Retail's account shows 3-year total of $2.1 million. This year alone is $860,000. The number hit like a physical blow. $860,000? Vanessa's voice pitched higher. We paid you almost $1 million this year? For processing 47,000 packages, maintaining inventory, managing returns, and providing last-mile delivery. That's actually below industry average rates. I give Carlos a volume discount because we're family, Carlos finished bitterly. Because Martinez Retail was my third client and helped establish Rapid Flow's credibility in retail fulfillment. The volume discount is business, not charity. Dad sat down in his recliner. How much is your company worth, Maya? Rapid Flow generates approximately $18 million in annual revenue. Net profit last year was $4.3 million. Roberto made a choking sound. $4 million in profit? From delivering packages. From providing comprehensive e-commerce logistics solutions to 32 retail clients across 4 states. We employed 217 people across our warehouse and delivery operations. Thomas was still on speaker. Maya, Ms. Martinez, we desperately need those packages moving. Can we discuss the capacity overage? The original contract specified 40,000 units. You're at 47,000. That's 17.5% over contracted volume. I know, but our Black Friday sales exceeded projections. We had no way to anticipate. Your sales projections in August showed conservative estimates. I recommended building buffer capacity. Thomas, do you remember that conversation? A long silence. Yes. I told Carlos it would cost too much to contract for extra capacity we might not need. Carlos's face went red. That was a sound business decision. We saved $20,000 by keeping the contract tight. And now you're facing $350,000 in losses because you can't fulfill customer orders, I said calmly. That's the risk you took. You're my sister. You can't just leave our packages sitting in warehouses while customers wait. I'm your logistics provider, who happens to be your sister. The contract terms apply regardless of family relationships. Mom stood up abruptly. Maya, this is cruel. You know how important Christmas sales are to Carlos's business. Which is why I recommended buffer capacity in August. This isn't a surprise. It's a consequence of choosing minimal contracting to save costs. What do you want? Carlos demanded. Money? Fine. We'll pay whatever it takes. Just process the damn packages. I want a revised contract for next year that includes realistic volume projections and appropriate capacity reserves. And I want payment for this year's overage at standard rates. How much? $72,000 for the additional 7,000 packages, plus expedited processing fees of $18,000. $90,000 total. $90,000? That's extortion. That's standard industry pricing for volume overages and holiday expedited service. You can call 3 other logistics companies and verify, except they won't take on 47,000 packages 3 days before Christmas. Vanessa grabbed Carlos's arm. Just pay her. We'll lose $300,000 if those packages don't deliver. She's holding us hostage. She's running her business professionally, Dad said quietly. The same thing you do when customers want special terms or rush orders. Carlos stared at his father, betrayed. Your sister built a multi-million-dollar logistics company, Dad continued. She gave you preferential rates for 3 years. Now you're over contract and she's enforcing the terms. That's business, Carlos. Not family. Business. The living room stayed silent. Finally, Carlos spoke. You'll have the payment authorization by midnight tonight. Good. I'll have the packages moving by 6 a.m. tomorrow. Everything will reach customers by the 27th. Can we talk about this? Actually talk. I glanced around at the Christmas decorations, the family dinner getting cold, the relatives who'd spent the evening pitying my polo shirt. Not tonight. Tonight was supposed to be about family celebrating together. Instead, it became a reminder that you all saw the uniform and assumed failure without asking what I'd actually built. We didn't know, Mom started. Biz, you never asked. 8 years, 32 clients, 18 million in revenue, and you thought I was driving a van making minimum wage. You saw the delivery polo and decided who I was without looking deeper. Roberto set down his drink. For what it's worth, what you've built is impressive. E-commerce logistics is one of the fastest growing sectors. Thank you. Though I built it because I saw an opportunity, not because I needed validation. You're really going to make us pay $90,000? Carlos asked. Martinez Retail will pay $90,000 for services rendered outside contracted terms. Yes. The same way you charge customers for rush orders or special services. This is different. Is it? Or does it just feel different because you're the one paying market rates instead of setting them? The question hung in the air. Thomas called back. Carlos, I have the CEO of Anderson Supply on the other line. They're asking about switching to RapidFlow for their fulfillment needs. Should I transfer them to Ms. Martinez? I pulled out a business card and handed it to Thomas through the phone speaker. Have them email info@rapidlogistics.com. My sales team will schedule a consultation. You're soliciting clients at Christmas Eve dinner? Vanessa's voice rose. Thomas brought it up. That's how business development works. Referrals, recommendations, reputation. The same way Carlos built Martinez Retail. Carlos was quiet for a long moment. Then, the payment will be authorized within the hour. Thank you. Your packages will deliver on schedule. And next year's contract? We'll discuss terms in January. Realistic volume projections, appropriate capacity reserves, competitive rates. Professional business relationship. Can we fix this? Us. I looked at my brother, successful, proud, surrounded by the retail empire he'd built. The brother who'd spent 8 years pitying my delivery polo while I processed his company's lifeline. I don't know. But probably not tonight. I picked up my jacket, the one with the RapidFlow logo embroidered on the back. Merry Christmas, everyone. Enjoy dinner. Hiya. Dad stood up. I have operations to oversee. Holiday season doesn't stop for family dinners. I walked to the door, aware of 40 pairs of eyes following me. The cousin who delivered boxes. The sister who never built anything real. The woman who just revealed she controlled her brother's entire customer fulfillment system. My phone buzzed. Text from Carlos. Payment processing now. Thank you for not leaving us stranded. Another from Thomas. Anderson Supply is very interested. This could be a major account. I responded to both professionally, then climbed into my vehicle. The company van I'd driven from the warehouse this morning. Let them see it. Let them wonder what else they'd assumed wrong about the delivery girl in the polo shirt. Behind me, through the window, I could see the family gathering around Carlos. Planning. Discussing. Finally understanding. Good. Let them learn that success looks different than designer Christmas sweaters and flagship stores. Sometimes it looks like a logistics polo and a van full of packages.